Hi, Lauren.
Hello, hello, everybody. Okay. Just wait a couple minutes. Who's on? Kirsten, Katie, Steph, Caitlin. How are you all doing? I feel like I haven't seen anyone in forever.
Things are good.
Yeah? Did you have to work today?
Yeah, only 8 hours though.
Ooh, a short shift for you.
Yeah. Nice.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to see. We'll wait like one more minute to see if anyone else hops on. So we got snow here all day today, which was fabulous.
Did you get a lot?
Yeah, like it was basically all melted because it was like in the 50s all week last week and then 65 on Saturday. And yeah, I woke up to the whole ground covered this morning and then it's like snowed all day. So I guess I should get used to it since I'm going to Utah skiing next week, but
Gosh, you guys are just like world travelers.
I know we're all over the place. So I went to LA in January and then we were home for like 2 weeks and then we left, or for 3 weeks. Then we left for our honeymoon for 2 weeks. Then we got back last Sunday. We're back for 2 weeks. Then on Tuesday, I leave to go to Park City with my family skiing. On Friday, Brady leaves to go to China and Dubai for 2 weeks. He gets back like mid-April. And then we're not going anywhere. Then we're like done. But that's how it always is, I feel like, at the beginning of the year. So you just get used to it. But
Yeah.
Okay. So we're recording. Okay, so tonight's call. Hi, Libby. Okay. So tonight's call is going to be all about sharing the sharing the coaching opportunity through your social media posts. So it is definitely geared towards social media. And the reason I want to talk about this is because we've been talking about sharing the coaching opportunity a lot lately, but I feel like we've really been focusing on how to share it or how to talk about it in conversation and how to, get challengers to become coaches. And that's great. But one thing that I've had a lot of success with is getting new coaches like straight off the bat, off of my social media posts. So not people that have been in my challenge groups or have been, that I've been talking to for a long time. They just literally have been watching my posts and will reach out to me about coaching specifically and not about discount coaching, but about coaching as, a business opportunity in a way to earn an additional income. So one thing I noticed is that I think there's a lack. If you're having a hard time building your team, it probably is because you're not talking about coaching in your social media enough. So that's why I wanted to do this topic today. So sharing the coaching opportunity is just like sharing about a challenge group on your social media. But it's even more powerful because you are giving someone the opportunity to completely change their life in every way when you share the coaching opportunity with them. And it's not our job to decide who gets to see this opportunity and who gets to decide whether it's for them or not. And I think a lot of times when we're sharing it or talking about it with challengers and stuff, we subconsciously or inadvertently do make that decision. We decide who we're going to share it with. And that's not a decision we should be making. We should be sharing it with everybody and letting them decide. And one way to do that is through your social media. So I want you guys to think about these questions, and I want you to write down the questions, and I want you to write down the answers to them, because this is going to be what your posts on your social media are going to be about in terms of coaching. So the first question is, why did you decide to become a coach? The second question is, what has coaching done for you? The third is, what will it do for you in the future? The fourth, what are your favorite parts about coaching? And the fifth, what were you most nervous about or apprehensive about when you were first, looking into coaching, or when you signed up to be a coach? Now, the answers to those 5 questions are what your coaching posts on social media should be about. And each post doesn't have to be that full answer. So you don't have to do one post that answers fully why did you decide to be a coach. There's probably, 5 to 10 reasons you decided to be a coach. Make one of those reasons one post. Make another one of those reasons another post. Make another one another post, so that you're keeping them short and you're leaving little breadcrumbs. And then you'll never run out of things to post about when it comes to coaching. If you take those 5 questions and take every part of the answer to every question and make it a post. So that's one question. Actually, one thing Jenny and I were talking about yesterday when I was in Madison, she was like, I just don't really know how to post about coaching. And so we were talking about these questions and using your answers to these questions to formulate your coaching posts, because that's what that's what coaching is the answer to those 5 questions. The last one is really important, because what you were nervous about or what you were apprehensive about when you were thinking about coaching is what other people are going to be apprehensive about. So by you talking about it publicly, you relate to them and you are showing them that you were just like them and you decided to do it, and now you love it, and this is why you love it. So the next thing I want you to do, and I do this with some of my personally sponsored coaches, especially when they are asking me about building their team and they're saying they're struggling with coaching and finding new coaches, is I want you to look at your social media, whether it be Facebook or, well, most of us use Facebook or Instagram. So I want you to look at your profile. And I want you to look at your profile and I want you to ask yourself these 3 questions. If a stranger, so someone who doesn't know you, came to your profile, if they scrolled for a few seconds, not like scrolling forever, if they scrolled for a few seconds on your profile, would they know the following 3 things? Would they know that you are a Beachbody coach? Would they know that you run monthly accountability groups? And would they know that they can do it too? And I'll tell you that most of the time when I look at someone's profile, usually there's a lot of posts about working out and fitness and accountability groups. So usually question number 2 is answered. Usually, for the most part, question number 1 is answered. You can figure out that they're a Beachbody coach. Number 3 is usually never answered. You usually
Smells like shit in here.
wouldn't know that you could do it
Do you
too.
not smell it?
So I want you to take an objective look at your social media and ask yourself those 3 things. If you don't know those 3 things after scrolling through, your Instagram homepage or your Facebook personal page or your Facebook like page quickly, then you need to make sure that your posts are saying these things. So there's 3 types of coaching posts. There are straightforward invites. So, those ones where you're like, I'm looking for 5 to 10 people to join my team. They're very straightforward. You know it's a coaching post. And those posts are your straightforward posts. There's what I like to call gentle coaching posts. Those posts are where you're inviting, but you're not inviting in that same way as that straightforward post. Those are the posts where you're talking about maybe something you love about Beachbody, something that coaching has done for you, and then at the end, you add in a little line like, you can do this too, I can teach you how, do you want to join us? Are you going to be the next one to join us on our Beachbody cruise? Something like that. Something that's not like super like in your face, join my team, but there's still some sort of invite at the end. So that's the second type. And then the third type is the subliminal posts, which is us just talking about coaching with no invite. So it's just talking about, maybe why you decided to be a coach, or, what it's doing for you, or, maybe a post about how you were able to pay something off with what you've been earning through Beachbody as a coach. So those are subliminal posts. So those are the 3 types of posts, and we should be doing all 3. And I'm going to tell you right now that these types of posts are probably going to get less traction than some of your other posts. The straightforward invites are probably going to get the least amount of likes and comments, but they're still important. You guys, you have to be doing these because people need to know that you're a coach and that they can coach too, and that you're always looking for new people to join your team. So if you're not talking about that, there's no way they're going to know. So we have to do those 3 types of posts together. So the straightforward, the gentle ones, and the subliminal ones, to give us a well-rounded image and story of what coaching is all about. Like I said, you're going to get the least amount of interaction. Just know that going into it. Just know that those posts are going to get the least amount of traction. Those posts are going to get less likes and comments than your posts about your family or your kids or your dogs or something exciting that you're doing. But they're just as important. When you're making coaching posts, it's really important to use powerful and strong language. So saying things like, you can do it too. I can teach you how. We have a training system that you will get plugged into. It's learn as you go. You don't need any experience. You don't need any certifications. You don't need a degree. Things like, what are you waiting for? Are you ready to join us? You need to be using strong language like that. A lot of times I think when we do coaching posts, we do a lot of subliminal posts, and then we go back and we're like, oh yeah, that's totally a coaching post. But if you looked at it from the perspective of someone who had never heard of Beachbody coaching or had never heard of Beachbody in general, and you read that post, I know when I look at a lot of them, I wouldn't be able to tell that that was a post for Beachbody coaching. So it's really important to use that strong language and be confident. Be confident in the fact that you can teach someone how to do this, that we have systems and trainings in place that will teach them how to coach. So use that powerful and strong language. Don't flirt around the topic. Just put it out there and go for it. People are watching, you guys. I would say I get the least amount of likes and comments on those kinds of posts, on coaching posts. But I have noticed that when I post about coaching consistently, so do a combination of those posts and do one type of coaching post every day, I start to get lots of messages from people asking me specifically about coaching and specifically about signing up as a coach. And these messages are coming from strangers. They're coming from people that I have not been talking to, that have never liked or commented on any of those posts, which just tells me that even though they're not hitting the like button or they're not commenting, they're seeing them, and they have been seeing them because they tell me that they've been seeing them. So it may feel like you're hitting your head against a wall, and it may feel like you're saying the same thing over and over and over, but just remember that not a lot of people are seeing your posts. 2% of your friends are seeing your posts. So the likelihood that someone sees it, or the right person sees it at the right time, is low. And that's why you just have to keep doing it to increase your chances of the right person seeing it at the right time. The next thing I want to talk about is KISS. So keep it simple, silly. What we do as coaches really is pretty simple, and I think we have a tendency to complicate it. If you are getting a lot of people telling you that they don't think that they could ever do what you do, then you're overcomplicating it. And the way you're describing it is too complicated, because everybody can do what we do. If you think about it, as a coach, what we do is we press play on a workout every day. We drink a delicious, nutrient-dense shake. We read a book, and we invite people to join us on our journey. That's what we do. And we run challenge groups. When you boil it down, that is what we do as coaches. And so we have to keep it simple. We have to let people know that that's what we do. And especially people who are already doing a lot of that. There are a lot of people out there that are already posting about coaching. They're already using Beachbody programs. They're already drinking Shakeology. They're already doing personal development or are interested in it. So literally the only thing they aren't doing is inviting people to join them on the journey. So we need to keep it simple in our posts and not make it so complicated, because I know there are quite a few of you out there who have people tell you consistently that they don't think they could ever do what you do. And it looks like you put it looks like you're doing all of this stuff. And when it boils down to it, it's just those simple things are the base of our business. So you want to be talking about that too in your posts. And finally, once you have these posts going and you're doing them consistently, you're going to have people reach out to you about coaching. And you're going to be talking to them, and you have to ask the question. You have to get in the point in the conversation. There's always a point in the conversation where you can ask the question, have you ever considered? So this actually probably wouldn't be for someone if they're reaching out to you specifically about coaching. But if you're talking to someone and, you're like, God, I know this person would be a great coach, you have to ask them, have you ever considered, becoming a Beachbody coach or doing what I do and being a health and fitness coach, something like that. Please don't say in your posts or in any conversation, let me know if you are interested, because people will never let you know, okay? You have to ask. You have to say, have you ever considered? You have to say, Are you ready to get going? You have to follow up and say, have you thought about it anymore? Are you ready to start? You cannot say, let me know if you are interested, because people do not respond to that. So do not use that wording in your posts. Do not use that wording in your messages. Use more powerful language and ask the question straightforward. In these posts, one thing that I've started doing is at the end of the post, if it's a straightforward coaching post, so if it's straightforward, people know that I'm inviting them to coaching, I'll say comment, like, or send me a direct message, or fill out this application. So I have created a coaching application through wufoo.com, which is WUFOO.com. And I just think it makes you look more professional if you have an application. People might not fill it out, but it's nice to have that link in there in case they want to click on it and see what it's all about, see what the questions in there are. I like to include like, so I like to say comment, like, message, because then what I've started doing is I will send a message to every single person that likes my post. And because I said, if you're interested, like my post. And the message is really straightforward. I'm actually going to read to you what I have been sending. So I go through and I send this to every single person that likes it. I'll say, hey girl, I just wanted to shoot you a quick message to say thank you for liking my post. I truly appreciate your support. I was wondering if you are interested in learning more about blah, 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 whatever I invited them to, whether it be coaching or a challenge group, or if you were just showing me some love. If you are interested, I'd love to chat with you more. And if not, no worries. As I said, I truly appreciate your support. And most of the people are going to respond and say, oh, I was just showing you some love. And then I'll write them back. And that's just a great way to get a conversation going with a lot of new people. But some people respond back and they're like, yeah, I actually am interested. But they just didn't want to comment, or they didn't, they weren't ready to send you a direct message. So I have had some success with including that like, and then reaching out to all the people that have liked it. And like I said, even if they're not interested, it's a great way to open that door and start a conversation with someone that you may not have started a conversation with in the past. And then the last thing I wanted to say is, just like anything else, this takes time. So it takes time, it takes consistency.
I have no idea what that is.
And you're not going to see probably the results of it right away. But that doesn't mean you should stop doing it. You need to keep doing it over and over and over. It's just like challenge group posts. It's the same exact thing. As a new coach, a lot of people start posting about challenge groups and posting about their workouts, and it takes time for people to start reaching out to you. It takes, a month or 2 months or 3 months for people to see those posts consistently and start reaching out to you. It's the same thing with coaching posts. It's going to take a month, 2 months, 3 months of you doing this on a consistent basis. So doing this, a couple times a week. And when I really want to, build my team and look for new coaches, I post about coaching in some way every single day. And, maybe one of those is a straightforward post, and a couple of them are gentle posts, and a lot of them are subliminal posts where I'm just talking about, why I decided to become a coach, the things that I love about coaching. Yesterday, I just did a post. Jenny and I both just did a post, and one about something that I love about coaching, which was the fact that I was in Madison all day, and she was gracious enough to notice and send me a message and ask me if I wanted to come over to her house and hang out all day and work out and, drink Shakeology and talk about our businesses. And then we met up with Marissa and had lunch, and it was awesome. But that's something that I love about coaching, is our team. And so I posted about that. And I posted that that was something I didn't know about when I signed up to be a coach. I didn't know that, you know, we would be on this amazing team, or that I was going to become a part of a big team of awesome women who support each other. And so it's really important to talk about things like that, because those things are things that people don't see if they're not a coach. They're things they don't know about. And so if we don't talk about them, how are they going to know that they're going to become part of this amazing family that we've created? So that's kind of what I have about sharing the coaching opportunity. You know, Facebook and social media in general, Instagram is a great, great way to reach a lot of people. And it's a great way to get your message out there to more people. And I think posting about coaching is something that a lot of coaches are apprehensive about. But if you do it in this way, if you think about your answers to those 5 questions, and if you use those answers to craft your posts, then you're just sharing everything that you love about coaching. And that's what's going to attract other people to it. And if you're sitting there and you're trying to think of, you know, trying to come up with a post, and you're, you know, struggling, then you're probably overthinking it. Jenny and I were talking about this yesterday too. She's like, oh, I just, you know, I don't really know what to say. And I said, just whenever I don't know what to say, whenever I'm sitting and I'm trying to come up with some really cool, crafty post, I stop and I say to myself, stop thinking. Just write what you're feeling, and that's your post. And it may not sound as amazing as Allie Peterson's posts, because her posts are phenomenal. They're just so awesome. I mean, her language and just the way she posts, I think, is phenomenal. And that's not how my posts sound. But, you know, that's me. That's not how I talk, and that's not, you know, what my posts are about. I would love for them to be that way, but it's just not going to happen. I'm just not that creative. So I think a lot of times when we get stuck with that, it's because we're trying too hard, and we're trying too hard to make it sound a certain way instead of just speaking from our heart and saying what's on our mind. You want your post to sound like how you talk. So how you would talk about it to a friend or a family member. And then, like I said, go through your social media profile and see if you can answer those 3 questions that I mentioned if you were a stranger coming to your page. And if you can't, then whatever one you can't answer, that's what you need to start posting about more, so that people know that thing about you. And that is all I have. And we have about 10 minutes left. So does anybody have questions or anything else that they would like to talk about? I want to give a quick shout out to Stephanie Post for going diamond while I was on my honeymoon in Thailand, and wish her a big congratulations. And give a shout out to Julia. It was her birthday yesterday. And I think that's it. Anybody?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Does anybody have any questions about what I talked about? No? Does anybody else have anything they want to talk about?
Wait, Lauren, what's like the unwritten rule about, you know, how you share like Beachbody doesn't, that like to make like the lawyer
disclaimer?
Yes. Like, when do you share that? Like, what's the...
You have to include that disclaimer if you're talking about money.
Okay.
So if you're talking about paying something off or making a certain amount of money, anything related to that, or Beachbody paid for this car, or my Beachbody income paid for this vacation, anything where you're talking about Beachbody paying for something or how much you're earning, you have to include that disclaimer that Beachbody doesn't, the Team Beachbody opportunity doesn't guarantee any level of success. I don't remember it off the top of my head, but I know it's in our team page.
Yeah. Okay.
And you have to include it in the verbiage. And if you have anything on the photo about that, you have to also include it on the photo because the photo is considered separate from the verbiage.
Okay.
Anybody else? We still have 7 minutes. Okay. Well, that's all I've got. I think, Julia, you're running a What is Coaching webinar next week, right?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Okay. On the 22nd?
Next Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 8 o'clock?
Yeah.
Okay. So Julia's doing a What is Coaching webinar at 8 o'clock next Tuesday. So be sure you're inviting to that. And
promote what is. Yep. Okay. I haven't made anything for it yet, but it's on my to-do list. So
I was going to say, do we have a link for it or anything yet?
Not yet. I will do that tomorrow. I literally just got back like an hour ago, and my priorities are that I worked out.
That's a good one.
It's a good priority. Okay. If anyone has any questions about posting about coaching, or, you're not sure what you're doing, or you're not sure about wording, or you want to run it by me, feel free to send it to me. We can chat about it. But I think if you really go through those questions, that will create a lot of topics for you to post about in terms of coaching, and you shouldn't run out. And when you run out, just start from the top again and start talking about them all over again, because new people will see it every time you post it.
Can we talk about this new program that's coming out?
Yeah.
Like, I watched that video and I'm like, what? Like, who is talking? And then I figured out it was Carl, and I was like, oh my God. But I was like, well, it's kind of like size, just like country music. But
I honestly haven't made it through the little promo video yet, but it looks pretty corny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
I couldn't make it through the video, so I don't know.
It gets cool after Carl's done talking.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, but little accent. But
I have a quick question about hosting a coaching webinar.
Go for it.
Okay, so I was thinking about doing mine on Thursday of next week. Is Thursday like a shit day to do it, or is that an okay day?
That's a fine day. I think Joelle's doing one tomorrow. She usually does hers on Thursday and does like she labels them as like a happy hour.
Oh, okay.
Thursday would be fine. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I probably would never do them on a Monday or a Friday or a Sunday.
Okay.
So yeah, I would say Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday.
Okay. Sounds good. I'll watch Joelle's, and then I got all of your emails, and I'm going to watch all of that too. And I'm like super nervous, but if anything, it'll be endearing and sweet watching me fumble.
It'll be fine. All I did before I ran my first one was I watched one that Andrea Crowder did. I watched it and probably listened to it like 5 times and just like wrote down exactly what she said. And then that's what I said.
Okay, perfect.
So, and then afterwards you'll be like, oh my God, I messed up this and I messed up that. But you get better with it every single time, and you figure out, what you want to talk about and how much time you want to spend on everything.
Okay, because I had a ton of coaches sign up after yours and Julia's webinar, and so I really think that having myself do it will really push the momentum forward, because some people are kind of hesitant because they're like, okay, well, I don't know who these people are.
Yes. And it's great to have one of your own to send to people too. So I always send, one that I've done in the past whenever I'm talking to someone about coaching. And it's nice that it's, my face, it's my, my journey, my story, my income, all of that. So definitely legitimizes you in people's minds. Okay. Well, I'm going to try and post this. Hopefully it'll work this time. So if you didn't get those questions written down, you can go back and listen again. And yeah, it was great seeing all your faces finally again. And I'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.